Oda, 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 Oda. You somehow find a way to always bring me back. So the last 10 or so chapters for One Piece for me has been absolutely trash. And Oda's been receiving a lot of criticism, from myself included, about how terrible Wano was and his skills as a writer. Deservedly so, because he fumbled majorly. But one thing Oda is always great in is world building. That's one thing he never fails to deliver on. And this chapter was no exception. I am so glad that I can finally enjoy One Piece again. You know, I've been so disappointed with how Wano has turned out, but I decided, you know what? The arc is over. No use crying over spilled milk. We're in the final saga. Let's just enjoy it for what we have left. So without further ado, let's get started. So the chapter starts out and we get the bounty reveals of the Straw Hats. Now, you know, Frankie's like 390, Usopp is like 500 mil. You know, Chopper, you already know he's gonna get 1,000 or whatever. But the main bounties that we all care about, Robin surprisingly got a 930 million berry bounty. Well, I shouldn't say surprisingly, because I always felt that she deserved a bounty that high just because of the threat she possessed, because she can read the pointing list, and obviously the world government doesn't want anyone to find out the history. But it's nice to see that they finally gave her a high bounty, because it never made sense to me that, like, whoa, this woman has the power to read and basically flip the world upside down with her knowledge, and you only have like an 80 or 100 million berry bounty. No, it made more sense. This 930 is good. But the shocking thing is we have a new dynamic in the crew now. The original monster trio is no more, as Sanji has officially been kicked out of the monster trio because he now has the 4th highest bounty in the crew. Sanji's bounty is 1 billion and 32 million. And Jinbei actually has a higher bounty than Sanji because his bounty is 1 billion 100 million. And I found it funny because, you know, Sanji's pissed off about it. I'm like, what? He has a higher bounty than me. And then Zoro has a higher bounty than Jinbei because Zoro's bounty is 1 billion 101 million. So the top 3 are Luffy and 1, Zoro and 2, Jinbei in 3rd. And it's funny because nobody on the crew cares about their bounties except for Sanji. And so him being in 4th is just pissing him off. He's starting fights to everyone. He's all depressed. And I just found that hilarious. So yeah, rest in peace to the original monster trio. Sanji has been replaced. Now moving on to the meat and potatoes of the chapter. We found out that Cross Guild, as most people expected, was not an organization formed by Buggy. It's actually an organization formed by Mihawk and Crocodile, and Buggy is not the leader. He is just a tag-along. What happened was Mihawk and Crocodile were the ones who formed this organization, but the reason why the Marines recognized Buggy as the leader is because they had Buggy in charge of distributing the posters. And when Buggy's minions distributed the posters, they made his picture the biggest, they made it in the center, so the Marines just assumed that Buggy was the leader. And so Mihawk and Crocodile are pissed about this at first, and they're threatening Buggy like they're gonna kill him and this, that, and the third. And then they're like, well, you know what? Maybe it's better that Buggy is the face, because now Buggy can be the figurehead and they can orchestrate and do what they gotta do behind the scenes, and Buggy will be the primary target of the Marines. And then we actually find out Buggy's bounty, it's 3.189 billion, which is higher than Luffy's. Then we find out Crocodile's bounty, which is 1.9 billion berry bounty. Whew! That is higher than any Yonko commando we've seen so far. And I absolutely love it because I personally, Crocodile is my favorite character in One Piece, and I like that Oda is still giving him his due and hasn't forgotten about him, and he's still building him up and giving him that notoriety. And then we get the bounty of Big Dog, God Hawk, you know, Big Goat. We got the bounty of Mihawk, and Mihawk has a bounty of 3.59 billion berries. Woo! That is insane. Mihawk has a bounty higher than 3 Yonko. Mihawk has a bounty higher than 3 Yonko. Listen to me. All that Mihawk is commander level BS and slander. All that, oh, Mihawk is gonna have like 500 million because, you know, he never really did anything. He just never really was a threat. His bounty was frozen. He'll have 1 billion at most. That is dead. Mihawk has a bounty higher than 3 Yonko. And this is so crazy because this is a solely strength-based feat because Mihawk has no crew, no territory. No crew and no territory, and he is still higher than 3 Yonko. Luffy, with all his fleets and all his commanders and all of that, still doesn't have a bounty higher than Mihawk. And he took down Kaido. Law Kid, no, they don't have a higher bounty. Blackbeard, no.
And then we find out that this man used to be referred to as the Marine Hunter. This man was out here hunting Marines. You know how insane that is? We about to have a matchup between the Pirate Hunter and the Marine Hunter. You know how much he had to not give a damn to be hunting Marines? This vibe by himself with no crew. He was just out here just murdering Marines. That's crazy.
And what is the icing on the cake is the Marines, when they're introducing Mihawk's bounty, they're like, yeah, this is a bounty fitting for a swordsman stronger than Shanks. Listen, I always had Mihawk stronger than Shanks because personally I have him top 1 in the verse. But I always had him stronger than Shanks because Mihawk's a swordsman, Shanks a swordsman. Mihawk has the title of world's strongest swordsman, was pretty black and white.
And then you got these Shanks fanboys who gonna say stupid goofy stuff like, well, Mihawk is more skilled, but Shanks is stronger. What the hell does that even mean? In One Piece, skill, strength, interchangeable, same thing. If you're more skilled, you're stronger. It's literally that simple. What is it that makes Mihawk a skillful swordsman and makes Shanks not a skillful swordsman? Like, is it the way they fight? Like, what is it? Is it because Shanks uses haki? Because Zoro has all 3 forms of haki: Conquerors, Armament, and Observation. Is Zoro not a swordsman now because he uses haki? Because everyone wants to say Shanks isn't a swordsman because his main way of fighting is a haki man? Even though the only weapon we've only ever seen Shanks use is a sword? Like, what is it about this skill thing? Like, what does that even mean? I'm genuinely flabbergasted at the mental gymnastics these dudes use to prop up Shanks. Zoro never said he wanted to be the most skilled swordsman. He said he wanted to be the strongest. Alright? Mihawk's title is not world's most skilled swordsman. It's world's strongest swordsman.
And at the end we see the Rev Army and Sabo contacts the Revolutionary Army and it's like, yo, I'm good, etc, etc. So we're gonna get information on that probably next chapter and leave us on a cliffhanger. So all in all, really good chapter. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.